Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
He is the greatest inventor all over the world, in my opinion. Uh, okay, let me know emulate. What does mean? I don't know.
Yes, emulate. I throw that in there because I hope you can learn that word. It means to like, how do you want to copy them, or how do you want to be like them?
Uh, I wanna invent the physics new theory. For instance, about the space. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool. I'm sure you could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
I'm not a scientist, but I feel like surely there's all sorts of things that scientists haven't discovered yet.
Yeah, I like learning, about the space, but that was not astronomy subject in Myanmar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
That's probably true.
Yesterday, I said my mom, when I become rich, I wanna buy a telescope. She said to me, "Are you crazy?"
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was
So that's
looking
not,
for the planets surrounding and turning on their orbit.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
so
that's
like when you guys go to school, like growing up, or even like in high school, do you guys, yeah, I mean, surely you learn about outer space and planets and the solar system and all that, yes?
yeah,
Or is
I
that
think.
not a focus?
Yeah, I think so.
You learn about it or not?
No. Well, we never learn about it because our teachers never gave us to teach. Our teachers never teach us about this space because
Okay.
they don't know all about the space. They always explain the physics theory, but we never understand because they are not good.
I see. Very interesting. So then this is probably fascinating for you because like it's probably a lot of self-taught things you've taught yourself.
What?
Like the physics and astronomy is probably a lot of things that you have just learned by yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Probably I learned about the how to say, like, quantum physics, but I don't
Uh-huh.
know. I don't know.
Yeah.
In school, I am not good at physics and chemistry, but I learned it online, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, I took those in high school. I didn't do any of those types of classes in university.
I want to go to Mars planet.
Yeah. That'd be cool. There's been a
Yeah.
lot of research done about it.
I think
Yeah.
I will be an astronaut.
Uh-huh. You should be. You should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think you can. Okay, awesome. Albert Einstein, respect. You want to be an astronaut? You go for it, man. You'll be a great astronaut. Thank you for
But
sharing.
it's not easy, to become an astronaut.
It's not easy. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's not easy, but I think you can do it. You have to be smart. You have to work hard, be willing to sacrifice, and
Yeah.
a
Thank
little
you.
bit of luck. All right. Well, thank you
Okay.
for sharing.
Okay.
Um,
That's
uh-huh. Is it May Thadarkin?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Would you like to share?
Yeah, for me, it's my neighbor. Like, he's a boy, he's a university student. Like, I respect him so much because he got 6 distinctions in the entrance exam, and I think he's always like active and energetic. In I like his English skills, and so I decided to study with him. He teaches me chemistry. Because of him, I knew that being smart is so cool, and he's really smart. And
Uh-huh.
I always try to accumulate him, and I've decided that one day I'll be like him, like a student who got six distinctions. I'm trying my best. I respect him so much. He's really smart.
Yeah,
That's all.
That's super cool. It's so great when you know people like that who like work really hard, who are really smart and like succeed, because it's so like inspiring and encouraging for like you to do the same thing, you know. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else who'd like to share, get a chance to practice their English speaking? Okay. Well, thank you to those of you that did share. We will transfer over. I think it's this one here. Yes. So a week or two ago, I asked just like the group of students that were there that day if there were some specific things they wanted to practice. And there were several students who said that they're preparing for their TOEFL test and that they would really appreciate some practice around that. And so I'm trying to kind of add that in here and there. So yesterday we looked at different reading sets, like passage, and then we like talked through some of the questions. So we'll see how much time we have today, but we'll read through this passage and then we might be able to talk through a few of the questions, kind of think about what are they asking and why are they asking it that way. But I like to do the like vocabulary practice with you guys because that's just what I know what to do. And so we'll read through it and we'll like take the time to ask our vocabulary questions, and hopefully there'll be some good ones because it's about science. And then also it's like an academic passage, and so there should be some interesting words. I feel like this topic is interesting. I haven't read the whole passage through. It's about dinosaurs, and like people have differing opinions on dinosaurs, if they were real, if they weren't real, when they lived, how they lived. And some people find them like super cool and fascinating. Some people don't really care about them. When I was younger, like growing up, I didn't really care about dinosaurs. And as I've become an adult, I think it's kind of interesting. So anyways, we'll read through it, notice vocabulary questions you have, even like concepts that you might be confused about. Any questions you have, and we'll talk about them. But I'll read through it once, and then we'll go through paragraph by paragraph. Okay. Paleontologists have argued for a long time that the demise of the dinosaurs was caused by climatic maybe is how it's pronounced. Alterations associated with slow changes in the positions of continents and seas resulting from plate tectonics. Off and on throughout the Cretaceous, the last period of the Mesozoic era, during which dinosaurs flourished, large shallow seas covered extensive areas of the continents. Data from diverse sources, including geochemical evidence preserved in seafloor sediments, indicate that the late Cretaceous climate was milder than today's. The days were not too hot, nor the nights too cold. The summers were not too warm, nor the winters too frigid. The shallow seas on the continents probably buffered the temperature of the nearby air, keeping it relatively constant. At the end of the Cretaceous, the geological record shows that these seaways retreated from the continents back into the major ocean basins. No one knows why. Over a period of about 100,000 years, while the seas pulled back, climates around the world became dramatically more extreme. Warmer days, cooler nights, hotter summers, colder winters. Perhaps dinosaurs could not tolerate these extreme temperature changes and became extinct. If true, though, why did cold-blooded animals such as snakes, lizards, turtles, and crocodiles, which, by the way, I don't know why those parts are highlighted, they just are, so I'm just ignoring them currently, survive the freezing winters and torrid summers? These animals are at the mercy of the climate to maintain a livable body temperature. It's hard to understand why they would not be effective, whereas dinosaurs were left too crippled to cope, especially if, as if some dinosaurs believed, dinosaurs were warm-blooded. Critics also point out that the shallow seaways had retreated from and advanced on the continents numerous times during the Mesozoic. So why did the dinosaurs survive the climatic changes associated with the earlier fluctuations, but not with this one? Although initially appealing, the hypothesis is a simple climatic change related to sea levels is insufficient to explain all the data. Dissatisfaction with conventional explanations for dinosaur extinctions led to a surprising observation that, in turn, has suggested a new hypothesis. Many plants and animals disappear abruptly from the fossil record as one moves from layers of rock documenting the end of the Cretaceous up into rocks representing the beginning of the Cenozoic, I think is how you say that word, the era after the Mesozoic. Between the last layer of the Cretaceous rock and the first layer of the Cenozoic rock, there is often a thin layer of clay. Scientists felt that they could get an idea of how long the extinctions took by determining how long it took to deposit this 1 centimeter of clay, and they thought that they could determine the time it took to deposit the clay by determining the amount of the element iridium it contained. Iridium, IR is the abbreviation. Iridium has not been common at Earth's surface since the very beginning of the planet's history. Because it usually exists in its metallic state, it was preferentially incorporated in Earth's core as the planet cooled and consolidated. Iridium is found in high concentrations in some meteorites in which the solar system's original chemical composition is preserved. Even today, microscopic meteorites continually bombard Earth, falling above land and sea. By measuring how many of these meteorites fall to Earth over a given period of time, scientists can estimate how long it might have taken to deposit the observed amount of iridium in the boundary clay. These calculations suggest that a period of about 1 million years would have been required. However, other reliable evidence suggests that the deposition of the boundary clay could not have taken 1 million years. So the unusually high concentration of iridium seems to require a special explanation. In view of these facts, scientists hypothesize that a single large asteroid about 10 to 15 kilometers across collided with Earth, and the resulting fallout created the boundary clay. Their calculations show that the impact kicked up a dust cloud that cut off sunlight for several months, inhibiting photosynthesis in plants, decreased surface temperatures on continents to below freezing, caused extreme episodes of acid rain, and significantly raised long-term global temperatures through the greenhouse effect. This disruption of the food chain and climate would have eradicated the dinosaurs and other organisms in less than 50 years. Okay, I believe that's the end of the passage. Yes. So we'll go back through each paragraph, starting with 1. And I'll read through it one more time so get your brain kind of focused in on that section. And then we'll ask any questions that you might have. Paleontologists have argued for a long time that the demise of the dinosaurs was caused by climatic alterations associated with slow changes in the positions of continents and seas resulting from plate tectonics. Off and on throughout the Cretaceous, the last period of the Mesozoic era, during which dinosaurs flourished, large, shallow seas covered extensive areas of the continents. Data from diverse sources, including geochemical evidence preserved in seafloor sediments, indicate that the late Cretaceous climate was milder than today's. The days were not too hot, nor the nights too cold. The summers were not too warm, nor the winters too frigid. The shallow seas on the continents probably buffered the temperature of the nearby air, keeping it relatively constant. Okay, are there any questions? Feel free to put up your hand emoji or just unmute, it's fine too.
Yeah, alternation. What is it?
Say it one more time.
Alternation. Alternation. I don't know the
Yes, that's right. Alternations.
Yeah,
alterations. That's why. Alterations. There's no N. To alter means to change. So it's like the changes. Climatic is like the climate, like the air, weather. And so it's like weather changes because alter is changing. Yeah.
It's suddenly change, right?
Say it again.
Suddenly change. Just like.
I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I mean, alteration is like, the climate is changing suddenly.
Yes. People, obviously not in this context, but people also use alterations like, let's say you get a piece of clothing, you get a shirt or a dress or pants or whatever, and it doesn't fit you, you can get it altered or an alteration. And like a tailor or someone who knows how to sew can like alter the piece of clothing or change it, right? Resew it so that it actually fits you. So people will say use alteration in that sense as well, because it means to like the changes or to change something.
Thank you.
Yeah, great question. What else?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah.
I wonder what is plate
Yes, plate tectonics.
tectonic.
So you know how the earth is like made up of all the layers, and the outer layer, like the earth's crust, you know, like that we live upon, the outer layer of the earth. And like scientists have discovered that like the earth has different like sections, and they like line up with each other, right? Like right underneath the earth. And so those are called plate tectonics, and they kind of move a little bit sometimes, and that's what makes earthquakes happen. And so those plate tectonics can shift. And so that's just the name of like that scientists have given that like different parts of the earth that make up the whole continents altogether. Does that make sense? You can like Google plate tectonics, and it'll like even show you like maps that scientists have made of like where the like fault lines are for like where earthquakes happen and like where those shift and move. But it's just like the earth being separated into like different sections in how the earth was created.
Teacher, let me know what about Flores? Dinosaur Flores. The line number maybe 4. Yeah, just like
flourished. Yes.
Flourished.
Good. Flourished. That means to like prosper, to be in abundance. So when you think of flowers like blooming and growing, and there's more and more flowers, then they flourish, right? And so in the same way, dinosaurs like we're growing and like we're doing so well, and so they flourished.
Yeah, growing is not high.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be like literally growing. It can be, but it can also just be like, you can say like that person flourishes in that job, right? Like if they're just doing really, really great and super happy and like so fulfilled, then they're like flourishing in what they're doing. It's like that they're growing and they're like prospering and succeeding.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
That's a lot of vocabulary. I don't know. Oh my God. Thank
Well,
you.
ask questions. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Frigid.
Frigid. Frigid. Yes. Super cold.
Super cool.
Super cold. And where I live in the winter, it gets very frigid. We have ice everywhere.
Oh, just like refrigerator.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
Anything else?
Yes. Can I ask teachers?
Yeah.
Buffer. What is
buffered? Yes.
Yeah.
Buffered. Okay. The shallow seas and the buffered. The temperature.
Yeah.
So like a buffer is like a barrier.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like a barrier. And so like it's saying that the sea on the continent, right, like created this barrier like for the temperature. And so like the sea balanced out the temperature in the air, and so then the land temperature was stayed about the same. But then when those seas went away, covering the continents, then that barrier or that buffer wasn't there anymore. And so then the temperature kind of went crazy, is what this is saying. Sometimes people, like where I hear buffer a lot is like people will use it in the context of like, you have to like, maybe there's someone you don't get along with, but you have to interact with them. Like maybe it's someone in your family or something, or you're going to have a really hard conversation with someone. And so you might ask someone to go with you to be a buffer, is how I use it. Heard a lot in English. Like, and in that case, it's not really a barrier, but it's like someone to kind of like keep the peace, right? To like keep things calm and like staying the same so that like nobody like explodes or gets out of control. It's like a buffer and like sort of absorbs some of that negativity. And so sort of in the same way it can be used in this context, it's just more literal in this context, that like the seas are kind of absorbing or allowing that temperature to like stay calm. But
yeah, just like the medium, right?
Yes, exactly. That's a great word.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yes.
I got it.
Yes. Anything else?
No, not for this passage.
Say it again.
Yeah.
Oh, not for this.
Passage.
Okay, we'll move on. Thank you. All right, passage 2 or paragraph 2. It's a little bit shorter. At the end of the Cretaceous, the geological record shows that these seaways retreated from the continents back into the major ocean basins. No one knows why. Over a period of about 100,000 years, while the seas pulled back, climates around the world became dramatically more extreme. Warmer days, cooler nights, hotter summers.